The simple thing that I have to tell you is this. You want to achieve, a wondrous state of realization, a place where everything is mostly positive. The one thing that you have to stop being is threatened. That's the biggest shrap that humanity has. And especially in the world of creativity we all are threatened because we need to be a step ahead of the next Joe. And that is the attitude that we leave our house every morning with. And so that being threatened inside of yourself builds these incredible defensive walls that instead of in some ways protecting you, it actually locks you in. It does not open you up. If you notice, the kind of realization that he achieved at that point was that he stopped feeling threatened. That's exactly what happened at that moment. He was suddenly like, I don't care. I'm really enjoying this. This is joyful for me. This is fun. This is not work, and this is not someone else's tempo. This is where I am going to be, and I'm going to have a great time doing it, and I'm going to have fun. And it doesn't matter if I don't get the gig next day. It doesn't matter if they don't call me up. It doesn't matter if I don't ever play a concert again. But what matters is that I am where I want to be. And I can stand behind this and say, this is what I wanted to do and I've done it. You're not threatened. That is where you need to be. That's what I feel, that after many, many decades of playing concerts, I've gotten to a point where I've realized that everybody has something very special to offer. There's no such thing as good music and bad music. There's only music and it's all different. What you call bad is not bad, it's just different. For me to sit with Niladi Kumar or to sit with John McLaughlin or with Herbie Hancock or anybody and play with them, the moment at that, in that instant is to be able to get the greatest possible joy out of that interaction and the union. It's never about, I want to show what I can do. It's not that. The whole idea is I want to be part of the conversation, and that's it. I don't want to be the only one speaking, but I want to be part of the conversation, and that's where it's at. Being part of the conversation means just sitting there and nodding my head, then that's fine. Because if the situation is such that I don't really have to say anything because it's all as it should be, then that's fine. I was 16 years old and I played 4 concerts back to back with Pandit Ravi Shankar. I was his accompanist. So now I played the concert, Bombay concert. I'm elated. I'm playing with Pandit Ravi Shankar. Man, I've arrived, And I really had a good time. Audience is clapping. Oh, there's this young kid mixing it up with the great maestro, whatever. Next day on the plane, we are sitting there. I was sitting next to him on the flight, and I'm waiting for him to say, well done, Zakir, it was good last night, No such thing. He would eat, he would read his magazine and so on and so forth. We arrived in Hyderabad. We played the concert in Hyderabad. Next day, we were flying to Chennai, which was Madras in those days. On the plane, again, waiting, he will say something, maybe nothing came my way. And now I'm like dying inside, it's like, it needs to come out. I mean, something's, so eventually I finally splurted it out and I said, Uncle, last night was a good concert, wasn't it? It was quite a, like that. And he looked at me and smiled and said, yeah, it was good. Okay. And then he went back to his magazine. But after a few moments, he realized that I was really antsy. There was something, so he put his magazine down and said, Zakir, yes, do you remember what I played last night? He said, you played Rag Behag. He said, yes, but do you remember the composition? Do you remember any Vistar that I did? Do you remember any Tihais that I played? Do you remember if I smiled at you? He asked me all these questions. Believe me, I had no answer. I had no clue. I mean, I played 2 concerts with him, and the concerts were like 2.5 hours, 3 hours long, and I did not remember a single melodic moment of the concert. Just imagine that. I was a 16-year-old kid out there to really impress the hell out of everybody else. So I was sitting like this, facing the audience. He's sitting in the center of the stage, facing the audience. I'm not even looking at him. I'm like, watch me, guys, it's like this. I didn't care. It was me, without knowing, really threatened. And I wanted to break those shackles, and I wanted to impress everybody that I'm really who I am, I'm the real thing, etc., etc., etc. So he then told me, he said, we played together twice and you have no idea what I played. You can't even remember a moment when I looked at you and kind of gave a signal if I wanted something. He said, we are playing a concert together, we are conversing together, we are talking with each other musically, and you don't even know what I said. Just think about that for a second. It's got nothing to do with your playing. It's got everything to do with what you should be on stage. And I was thinking about it, and I realized that's true. I mean, you know, I was too within my own world. I was really caught up in that, and it had become the most important thing in my life. And it didn't matter that I was playing one of the greatest maestro of all time, my greatest opportunity to learn, and I was ignoring it. So the very next concert after that in Chennai, instead of sitting facing the audience, I turned sideways like this, and I put my tabla like this, so I was watching him. I was not watching the audience. Now, there was people on the audience sitting here who kind of complained, said, oh, we can't see the tabla player. You know, I said, don't worry, I'll look at you. It'll be fine, that's all right, I'll wink, no problem. So I sat like that, and believe me, the interaction was of such an incredible level. Things were revealed to me that I didn't even know existed. It appeared to me before that a concert with a sitar player or a sarod player was, I did my shit, he did his shit, and then in the end we kind of played a tihai together and boom, it's over. But it's not that, it's play together, it's interact together, work, you know, as friends, as lovers, as mates, as soulmates, travel the journey together, you know, experience the happiness together. There's nothing to be threatened about. That's a revelation that I received at that point. It just changed the way I started to look at playing with people. If you come to my concert, you see I sit at an angle. And I like to watch the artist that I'm playing with. Either that, if I'm sitting in the center, I sit further back so that everybody is out like this, so I can watch everybody and pay attention as to what's going on. So, okay, don't feel threatened. Get that word threatened out of your system, okay? Then only your creativity can blossom.